Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is SoFlo Josh and we're here at BMW South Miami to film this 2025 BMW M235 Gran Coupe for y'all. If you guys are interested in purchasing any BMW whatsoever, make sure to go ahead and contact them. They'll be able to assist you. So power in this model is BMW's B48 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, producing 312 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque straight through a 7-speed DCT transmission, and it's all-wheel drive with an M Limited Slip differential up at the front to help you out when you're going around those corners speedily. So this is the all-new generation for the 2 Series Gran Coupe. Now let's go ahead and talk about some of the changes that BMW has done for this generation. So up at the front we have a completely new headlight unit. So we have these DRL strips off to the right of the high beam assist and the main projector light. They're full LED headlight unit as well. Cornering lamps over here finished in LED as well. It looks really nice. Now these strips right here off to the side will actually change into the orange whenever you have your turn signal on, and they will pulse just like what you would find on the X1, X2, as well as the 5 Series and up. Now when it comes to the front end bumper, completely new design. So we have nice aggressive designs from the hood, tapers down into the bumper, and the bumper is actually a lot lower than the previous generation of the 2 Series Gran Coupe. I think it looks really nice, really bold and aggressive right in your face. So getting to the kidney grills, we have the same exact design that you would find on any of the full-fledged M products, or even, for example, the i5 M60 with the horizontal design for the kidney grills. I think it looks really good. It actually has a nice metallic flake to the design of it, and it looks really nice with this M badging up at the front. Now with this model, does not come with the iconic glow that wraps around and lights up the whole entire kidney grill, or the Shadowline package, but it looks good even with this silver finish that carries around the whole entire kidney grill. Up at the front we do have your safety sense right there. It's going to have forward mitigation, collision avoidance warning, as well as adaptive cruise control. And in the lower section mimics that of what we see in the new M5. We have that middle section right here in the middle that looks exactly like the design that you'd find on the new M5. I think it looks very sharp and very aggressive, like I've mentioned before. Just a really nicely updated design compared to the previous generation. And we do still have active curtains over here off to the side to pass airflow around the wheels. Now speaking about wheels, we got a new 19-inch wheel design. They are finished in a forged design. We do have that M Sport brake at the back, and you can even option in drilled rotors for this model. And in the overall side design of this vehicle, we get a new mirror cap for the M Performance model that mimics that of what you find on the full-fledged M cars. The 2 number right there on the Hofmeister Kink. And then getting over here to the back, we get the same exact taillights that you would find on the X2. I really like the fact that they went ahead with this approach instead of just having one whole case that carries over just like the previous generation. I think this just looks a lot more aggressive. You know, you're gonna keep those people on the dust whenever you pass them, and they'll know exactly that you have a 2 Series. Now the shape of the trunk lid has actually changed, so we have a new design for the shaping. M235 badging right here. Gone is the eye. All new vehicles will lose the eye. It actually first started with the X3 model, and now the 2 Series also carries that. And then down here we do have quad exhaust tips that you would find on the traditional M vehicles. Now you're going to see it on full-fledged M Performance. We even get a faux diffuser at the very bottom, but let's go ahead and hear how that exhaust system sounds. and get into the trunk. Before we do have a spoiler for the M235i version. I believe if you get the M Sport package, you do still get that spoiler. But trunk space wise, very wide opening. You can easily fit a baby stroller into the back of here. It does have a little hook area right here, so you can go ahead and put some grocery bags. A little pocket space right here to put some knickknacks or anything else. And then if we move my backpack, you can go ahead and see that we have some space under here. We do not have a spare tire for this model, and you can go ahead and actually fold this. So if you want to have a divider, if you want to have places like, maybe let's say for example you have your milk, you don't want it to be swishing around a lot whenever you're driving Spiritedly home, guess what, you can put that there and it will stay in place, which is a really nice thing that BMW did that. So before we get into the interior, guess what, you do have a puddle light right over here with the M logo to illuminate on the sides, so at least you know what's there whenever you get out of the vehicle. All new door card design. So this is completely different from what we saw on the last generation. We got a new door handle, door unlock and lock, your presets for your memory seats over here. You do have your window switchgear, Harman Kardon speaker grill right here, as well as this nice white ivory design that mimics that of the seats carried over here to the door panel. I really like to see, you know, different design elements within the door panel, especially when it comes to color, so it's not just all blacked out for the door section. Really nice design. You even get stitching all across this section as well as here, and you got your tweeter bill right there for your speaker system. But these seats are not the full sport ones that have the fixed headrest. You can go ahead and option those in. You can choose them between either red or black, I believe, and they will have the M logo embossed, actually no, illuminated into the headrest area, just like you find on the full-fledged M's. But even though this isn't the full, you know, sport design seats, they do have some really good bolstering off the side, perforation down the middle. It looks very, very good, and it feels comfortable too whenever you're sitting in it. So even though we do have a frameless design for the door section, it does sound solid whenever you go ahead and shut the door. Starting up the car, we do have a new display design for this model. So gone is the overhead canopy design for the digital gauge cluster and the separation of the touchscreen and the gauge cluster area, and now we have two separate screens. So over here, a new 10.7-inch touchscreen display, and down the middle is a 10.25-inch digital gauge cluster. So all new iDrive 9 system in this model, which is really good. I actually really liked it whenever I test drove the X2 and I did the X1 review, which I've done on my channel before. It's really good, very snappy, and they've actually improved it for the 2025 model years of those models as well as this model. Speaking about the steering wheel, very nice design. All new design, mimics that of what we saw in the X1 and the X2. It is a round design, unlike the new 2 Series Coupe as well as the 3 Series and 4 Series where it gets a flat bottom. I kind of wish they would have done that for this model year, but we might see it for the 2026 model year where it's more flattened. Down the middle right here at the 3-spoke, we have that same exact design etch right here as well. Very nice 9-3 grip around here, large bolsters off to the side, and we get a 12 o'clock down the middle. We do have your cruise control section right here off to the left, and then over here is to control your media as well as your gauges. So you can go ahead and actually change the content of the gauges. So let's say for example you want to have your vehicle right there, you can go ahead and do that. A little cool feature is when you press on the brake, the actual lights light up at the back, which is a very nice feature. Just a little Easter egg for y'all. But really nice digital gauge cluster, like the overall design. Over here we have a new ambient lighting down the middle. Whenever you do put this vehicle into sport mode, it actually will switch to the M colors. You'll see it right now. Very cool design that they've done. It actually kind of pulses into that color logo. I don't know, I just like the little details, like the little Easter eggs that BMW continues to do for these models. Very, very nice. And then we also get a little tray down here, and we get your wireless phone charging with 2 cup holders, 2 USB type C's. You got your switch gear, your start stop right there, your parking brake, and then you also have a fixed control area, so you can see your camera, change the panorama view, and it even will park itself for you whenever it comes to parallel parking. Your max defrost for the rear and the front. You got your volume control, forward, backtrack, emergency lights right there as well, my modes. And then you also have a section right here to get into, you know, your hill descent control, lane departure warning, as well as the active drive off stuff. Really nice to see that they have everything kind of like a hotkey. And we even have hotkeys over here off to the side where we have your media, telephone, and navigation. This does come with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. This model also features the same exact tricolor design from the M logo over here off to the dash. I kind of like the way that it went ahead and did this instead of just keeping it blank. And even over here to the side vents, we do have ambient lighting on either side, which is really nice. And we even get more ambient lighting within the door handle area as well. Now, opening up the center console area, some space in there to go ahead and put some snacks. And then getting over here to the glove compartment, you can see it is damped but not lined with felt, but it's a large bin. Actually, it's a very, very large bin. We do have a panoramic sunroof, so let's go ahead and open that really quick. It does have shading as well. Let's see if it actually rolls all the way back. Yep, it does roll a little bit more back, so you have a little bit more space in the sunroof section. But let's go ahead and actually get into the back. So getting into the rear, let's go ahead and open up the door. The door window actually does slide down. Same exact materials that you found up at the front is actually going to carry over here to the rear. Got your speaker system right here for your Harman Kardon, and some pocket space to go ahead and put drinks there. Now let's go ahead and fold down the seats, and as you can see, it's actually very, very flat. Great job on BMW for going ahead and making it a flat design for the rear seats whenever you do put it down. Now, the good thing about this seat design is that you can go ahead and put down the middle. So if you have larger items, maybe if you, I don't know, you have a plywood or something, you could just fit it down the middle section and it will be able to fit into the rear trunk area as well as in the compartment area of where the passengers sit. So getting inside, behind myself at 6 foot tall, I do have space over here, which is actually really good. The seats are not fully down, but if you do have shoes that are a little bit shorter than mine are kind of higher up, it will be able to fit comfortably if the seat was actually more down. But we do have 2 rear air vents back here, 2 USB type C's, and when it comes to headroom wise, 6 foot tall, my head does hit the ceiling, but that's because of the way that the roof line is tapered at the rear. It's more like coupe design, and but if you do slouch a little bit, you can fit a lot more comfortably back here. The seats do feel a lot more plush compared to that of the previous generation. The previous generations was a little bit harder when it comes to sitting, but even the back section is actually a lot more comfortable, especially with the perforation down the middle. It's going to be easier and more breathable for this leather when it comes to the hotter climate areas. All right, so let's go ahead and take this model out for a drive, and let's take it to South Dixie really quick. So this is an all new generation for the 2 Series. Features a new engine, the same B48 inline 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, now producing 312 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque. Now, the base model, the 228i, comes with full all-wheel drive, just like this model, and that one produces 241 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque. So the same amount of torque, different amount of horsepower. But let's go ahead and take it down to South Dixie over here. Actually, going around that corner felt really good, and giving it some gas has a lot of pep. Now, I don't even have it in, you know, sport mode, and it's very, very quick to shift. This new 7-speed DCT transmission, I've used it in the X1 M35i as well as the X2 M35i. It's always been great. I didn't even have it in the sport for the transmission, but let's actually throw it into sport mode now and let's see how this vehicle livens up. So we're gonna set over here to the right and go to the S's. I am gonna put it into sport for the transmission as well. As you see, it automatically downshift. Let's go ahead and see how this puppy drives. Going around this corner, really good. Woof, great amount of torque, and it actually feels a lot more poised and a lot better than what we found in the last generation, but also even better than the X1 and the X2. Wow, it feels a lot better around these bends, a lot more sharper. Let's go ahead and downshift. Now we're gonna go over these bumps and we're actually gonna go ahead and put it in personal. So this one doesn't come with the adapted suspension, but it does come with standard suspension. It is gonna have a little bit of more bumpiness whenever you're driving on the road, so just expect that. Always choose the adaptive suspension. If you can go ahead and spring for the money and get the adaptive suspension, I would totally recommend doing that. Now we're gonna go ahead and continue going down over here, and let's see how this car drives when we have it in normal mode. I will say the MVH, when it comes to this vehicle, even though this is BMW's entry-level model, it's actually really good with eliminating the exterior sound that you hear from the wheels, as well as you know, any of the sounds that we get outside. All right, so we're gonna actually use one of the features, push to pass. Really good. I really like that feature, that boost function right there. You hold it down, it downshifts for you, and it gives you a 10-second boost to go ahead and help with getting around vehicles, just like you saw right there. And it feels really good. Having it in normal mode, you don't even need to put it into sport mode in order for you to actually enjoy the performance of this vehicle. That's how good BMW tuned this new generation of the 2 Series Gran Coupe. All right, so let's go ahead and go back out to South Dixie. I have it in sport mode again, and let's give it one last push. Oh man, you know, it feels really good. I think that BMW made an even better product than what they previously had. I've driven the M235i, the previous generation, and it was a great product. I loved the way that it felt when I went around the bends, but they killed it for this generation. It's a lot more poised, a lot more sportier, I'll tell you that much. It's a lot better, especially with the 7-speed DCT transmission. Hell of a lot better. Hell of a lot better. But with that being said, guys and gals, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys and gals in the next video. Peace.